We are facing what we are told are unprecedented times. And certainly for this generation, we have not seen anything quite like it, especially in peacetime. I have been monitoring the situation very closely over the past couple of weeks. A couple of Sundays ago, I addressed the congregation on fear. My words were in response to both the statements coming from the government and the World Health Organization at that time, as well as in response to increasing bad behavior in the local area and across our city. There are certain things that are truly unacceptable, whatever the context, whether it is panic or prejudice. These things have no place in our lives as Christians. We do not have to panic. We do not need to be anxious. We do not need to respond as those who do not have any hope of eternity. And yet, as I spoke Thursday night in light of a new guidance and the Prime Minister's press conference, there's no need to be flippant either. This is a very serious situation that our nation and indeed the world is presently facing. As I indicated on Sunday, we were able to meet this past week, but there was no guarantee we would be advised to continue doing so. And I promised that I would keep people updated. Now I'm doing that. In light of government advice and guidance, we are seeking to comply with the request that there be no public gatherings for the time being. While some are canceling their gatherings for 4 weeks, I believe it is more sensible for us, considering the context of our local church, to weigh things up and take things week by week. Yesterday, we met as elders, and after that, we spoke with a gathering of men in my flat to think through the implications of coronavirus for us as a church. We are the church. We are not canceling church. Church cannot be canceled. It is fundamentally a spiritual entity. And yet, the church visible is the church local and gathered. And we find ourselves advised, cautioned, and thereby inhibited from doing that in a formal sense. It is not the will of the elders, but the decision of the elders that we must, for this coming week, suspend our normal gatherings. All formal gatherings of the church are therefore suspended, awaiting further review in light of ongoing developments and government advice. That means that we will not formally have our prayer meeting, nor our Sunday gatherings, nor indeed our other formal gatherings. But this is something that I think, if you recall the things that we've spoken about, the things I've preached on for some time, we are well prepared for this moment. We studied through the letter of Romans a couple of years ago, and we learned that we who are strong should bear with the infirmities of those who are weak, and not to please ourselves. Therefore, we should seek to care for those who are vulnerable, particularly in the present crisis. We've also learned a great deal from Romans, 1 Corinthians, and Ephesians about the church being a body. And on just this past Sunday, we were talking about the church being a building, not in the sense of bricks and mortar, but a spiritual building built for God, that when it's joined together grows up into a holy temple for the Lord. You carry the Holy Spirit inside of you. you can and should continue to spend time in the Word, in prayer, and so far as is wise and possible, to either digitally or in person even, if possible, continue to interact and fellowship with your brothers and sisters at an informal level. If you want to join me for prayer on Thursday night, you are welcome to come to my flat. If you want to worship on Sunday, you are welcome to do so in people's houses. My house, other Elder Charles's house, or others who are open to their Christian neighbors. We will continue to reach the lost. We will continue to minister to those in our community, especially as they have need in the present crisis. And we encourage you to be wise, to be safe. If you are over the age of 70, if you are pregnant, if you have underlying health conditions, please heed the government guidance. This is not giving in to fear. This is trusting God. This is not testing God's sovereignty. It is trusting God's sovereignty. We urge that you do this. If you have any questions and concerns, please call me 07582 503 683.